Most Canadians think that they're behind because they didn't start investing early enough, but that's usually not the real problem. The real problem is that they're leaking money through their taxes and they don't even see it happening. So if you're over 45, small mistakes don't get decades to fix themselves. I'm Darren, just a regular Canadian who started investing later, and I'm proving it's never too late to build wealth. And in today's video, I want to walk you through 5 tax mistakes that are quietly costing Canadians thousands. And one of them almost cost me an entire year's progress. So let's start with the one that almost nobody sees coming. Almost everyone has heard of the TFSA or tax-free savings account. I thought I understood it. I had one, I'd make my contributions. I felt pretty responsible. But I wasn't investing inside of it. I was literally just parking money there. And when I looked at the data, that's when it clicked. Now, the CRA publishes TFSA statistics every single year. Canadians have massive unused TFSA room, so access is not the problem, it's usage. About 4 in 10 Canadians with a TFSA hold most of it in cash, and that's the disconnect. Because the real power of a TFSA isn't flexibility, it's that every single dollar of growth inside of it is never taxed. That's capital gains, dividends, and years of compounding. And here's where it becomes even more powerful. TFSA withdrawals do not count as taxable income. So in retirement, when you have your pension, CPP, OAS, and they're all stacking up, you can still pull from your TFSA without pushing yourself into a higher tax bracket. That's not just growth, that's control. And control really matters more when you're starting later. Another thing that I didn't fully appreciate early on was withdrawals. If you pull money out and you do not recontribute it, you're permanently reducing future tax-free growth. Now, once I understood that, the TFSA stopped being a savings account in my mind, and it became a retirement control tool. And speaking of control, the next mistake is where most people accidentally give it up. RRSPs are often treated as automatically good. You put your money in, you get your refund, and you just simply move on. But that's how I thought about them for years. But RRSPs don't eliminate tax. They simply shift it. Canada taxes income progressively, so the last dollars that you earn are taxed at your highest rate. RRSP contributions reduce those highest tax dollars first. And that's pretty powerful if you use it intentionally. But here's where it matters. If you have pension income, CPP, OAS, and then you have your RRSP withdrawals, all of those things are going to stack up on top of each other. And in my case, I use a spousal RRSP to avoid that because I have a pension. My wife doesn't. So if I stack everything under my name, I might save tax today and then just simply recreate that tax bracket later when I retire. Same contributions, but a very different lifetime outcome. Then there's the refund. No, it shouldn't be a big party or go on a big trip. When that money comes back, it's not spending money. It's another decision. Do you put it in your TFSA, your spousal RRSP, or your spouse's RRSP? Each choice is going to shape your future taxes differently. RRSPs aren't good or bad. They're powerful when you understand how to use them. And if you think that that's where people leak the most money, wait until you see the next one. Most people don't miss tax credits because they're careless. They miss them because they underestimate the thresholds. And medical expenses are a perfect example of this. So basically on their own, you'd have your glasses, your dental, your physio, and a bunch of prescriptions. Now, they don't really feel all that big enough to really matter, but the CRA combines them. So let's say you make roughly $90,000, the first $2,700, that doesn't count, but anything above it does. So you quietly cross that line without even realizing it. So let's say that creates a $400 tax credit. That $400 invested at 7% for 20 years will all of a sudden become $1,500. And that didn't come from saving more, it came from paying attention to the money that you were already spending. That's the part that most people miss. Retirement is not built on one massive move, it's built on fewer leaks. The same idea shows up elsewhere as well. For instance, in kids' childcare or childcare camps that they go to in the summer, pension income splitting in retirement and tuition credits from school that may be carried forward. The mistake isn't missing one thing, it's assuming none of them really matter. And this is where tools help. And for many years, I have used WealthSimple Tax to file my own taxes. No, I don't use it because it's really flashy or anything, but because it helps surface a lot of these things. It combines the expenses properly, and it flags those tax credits for people who may have overlooked them. If you're interested to check it out, I'll leave a link in the video description below. Now, let's talk about the one that almost cost me a full year. All right, I'm just gonna lay it straight out for you guys. This next one is less about how much you contribute and more about when. If you want an RRSP contribution to count for the 2025 tax year, you need to make it before March 2nd of 2026. You miss that date and the opportunity is gone. And most people think December 31st is the deadline, but it's not. RRSP season runs into early March. And here's why that really matters. Most of us don't really know what our final T4 will say. Sure, we'll have a pretty rough idea, but you don't actually know until the end of February. RRSP season gives you a chance to make a decision with all those real numbers. If you landed in a higher tax bracket than expected, you can reduce those highest tax dollars. Miss that? You don't just lose a refund, you lose a full year of tax-deferred growth. That's the year that I almost missed out on, and that's why I automate it now. So the money goes out first and then we live on what's left over, because my motivation can fade, so can yours, but systems don't. Progress is not made by just simply having one great year. It's over ordinary years done well year after year. This last one is the most important, and it is also the hardest to see while you're still working. Retirement income doesn't turn on one piece at a time. It stacks. You have your pension, your CPP, your OAS, your RRSP withdrawals. Individually, all very reasonable, but together you can recreate your working income tax bracket, and that surprise is usually built years earlier. So how do you avoid it? You start with a goal, and this is why I use a retirement calculator, not to predict perfectly, but to understand what retirement spending might look realistically. Once you know that number, everything changes. You can estimate how large the portfolio will need to be. You can decide which accounts to prioritize, and you design the withdrawals intentionally. The goal isn't to eliminate tax, it's to control when and how it shows up. And that's the difference between reacting and planning. And that's why I use a certified financial planner, because I am no expert at any of this. While I am into DIY investing and learning, I still need the help of a professional to plan all of these other aspects of retirement. So if you're 45 and over and you feel behind, taxes aren't your enemy. Unplanned taxes are. Avoid these 5 mistakes and you're gonna stop leaking progress. And if you wanna see how I structure my own portfolio and my account mix, you need to watch this video next.